Okay, let's go. We on? Yeah. All right. How you going? Class.
Thanks.
Good.
Yes.
Good to hear. I've got you all here today. We'll do a work skill on sling inspection.
Yeah.
You're all doing your dogging course. So I'm going to give you a rundown. We're going to learn something very important for your dogging course to get
What's
ticketed.
dogging?
Your dogging course. That's what you're doing. You're dogging. So it's slinging loads, communication, knowing how to tie knots, safely rigging up loads for the cranes to lift. And that's what we're going to be doing. First, I'll give you a bit of a rundown of what we've got happening today. Obviously, we're doing a license for dogging, doing a bit of intro on myself, work health and safety. We're going to go through tasks, process of slings, why it's important, when to check our slings. We're going to have
Are they the different types of
slings? That's right. Yeah, going to manufacturer specs. We're going to go through. We're going to find faulty slings, storing our slings, and also protecting our slings. Difference between chains and slings, and we'll bit of feedback at the end. That's a bit of overview of what we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
To give us all a bit of a rundown. So first things first, a little bit about myself, bit of intro about myself. That's me there. I've dogged a Franna. I've been doing the crane and rigging for 10, 15 years. And crane and rigging, driving cranes and dogging and rigging. And I've been around the industry for over, almost 15 years. Working in WA, working in mines local to this area, working in steelworks. Yeah, lots of rigging and dogging. So this is a very, very important when you're doing your dogging course. This is the competency we're going to be doing. It's our high risk work license to perform dogging. Your CPCC LDG 3001 is your number, but it's your high risk work license. Here's a guy here doing his training. So what we do with the dogging, we want to be having good communication. That's what we're going to learn. Slinging techniques, safely checking equipment, and the communication between the crane operator and the dogman is very important. But everything's about being safe. So today's a big one. Sling inspection is very, 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 very important. You need to complete this one before you can get your course. Sorry, you need to complete this before you can get your ticket. Housekeeping. So everything around the room, everything's clear. We've done a risk assessment. Everything here is clear. Keep your bags off the ground. All our cords and everything's been hung up safely. We've got the evacuation procedure here, and I'll run you through the evacuation procedure now. In case of emergency, please don't leave your valuables. We want to all muster out the front together. We go out this exit here, this front door. There's two exits. Yeah. Exit at the rear here, and we're going to exit at the front here. Head down the veranda, and we'll muster point at the front on the letter box there. That's our emergency evacuation point. So in emergencies, we head together. Please don't touch any of your valuables. Leave them. We need to get out here in emergency in one piece. So time is valuable. Time is very valuable. Again, we're going to have this work skill. Then we're going to have a bit of a break, so you all can try to consume this information. I do encourage you to speak. Any feedback, please ask. And any questions, please ask. I'm out here giving as much knowledge as possible. Like I said, with my experience being in the industry over 10 years, working in high rises, working, mining, a lot of dogging cranes from little 4-ton cranes all the way up to 300 to 500-ton cranes. So I've been dogging a long time, and I love the work, but I love to pass the knowledge on to you guys. And today's going to be very, very important, and I hope you guys do understand how important it is. So first, like I said, today's instruction will be a sling inspection. It's one of the most important is the pre-checks of the slings, and you need to do this every time you go to sling a load. And I've got some slings here I'll show you. Every time you go to sling a load, if you're using nylon slings, soft slings, you need to do pre-checks. Very important. You need to check your slings. Very, very important. Every time before you lift. That is the process every time you do a lift, and that is the competency to getting your ticket as well.
Yeah.
So when you get assessed, you need to show that you're checking every gear before you lift, right, to ensure that it's right for use. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm holding here is a sling that we usually use when we're doing lifts, right, for lifting up anything from pipes, anything to, that picture had a boat there.
What's the max load they can hold?
Yeah, that's right. Good question. So this is a purple 1-ton sling. And it's got a one line there you can identify in purple, which I'll show you. Thank you very much for answering that question. We've got a table there that shows us.
Yeah.
Right, so 1 ton that can lift maximum safe working load vertical lift like that.
Yeah.
Obviously you do it like that, you double it, max doubles the lift. So it'll be worth 2 ton, right? So like I said, very, very important to check your slings before you lift anything. Very important. Why is it important? Why do you think it's important? Do you think?
Because when you lift, if it's got like cuts and that in it,
Yeah.
it can drop.
Yes, very good.
Snap.
Snap damage, that's right. And you
And
can
it
drop
can
the
hurt
load.
someone.
Yeah, to hurt someone too. You can drop the load
Yeah.
and hurt someone. So every time you do a lift, got to check your gear.
Yeah.
Love that, bro. Love that. Love that. So another when do we check? When do we check our gear?
You check before you load it.
Yeah. Check it before you sling a load up, yeah?
Yeah.
And we'll show you how to sling a load up in a sec before we go out in the real site. So I've got some pictures here of some slings, you can see up here, that have been cut, or, these are the type of things you're going to see on some slings, right? You've got an edge cut here, this one's been cut straight and hard, got acid burn there, so you can have like working around materials that cause acid, welding, so melting, so from burns, abrasions we have the time, like a puncher as well, maybe like a bolt. Someone's got a bolt and they've lifted on a bolt.
Yeah. Dowel for it.
These are the type of things that can happen to a sling, and you got edge cut, abrasions cut, acid melting of that. Any questions? Some more one here. So weld spatter, you've got broken or worn stitches, so our stitches that hold a sling together, they're broken, and an eye of a sling is damaged. These are just probably some of them, there's a lot more things that you can find on slings.
What's the worst one?
The worst one, obviously is your cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your fibers will be shown. And I'm gonna show you guys some slings, and I'm gonna try to get you guys to identify some defects in some of these slings. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just showing you here the abrasion melting, weld splatters, puncture, like some of the things that can happen to slings, and these can happen over time. That's why it's very important to always check your gear.
Yeah.
Before you use it. Always checking your gear before you use it. Yeah.
Yep.
Very, very, very important, yeah? Here we go. So we've got Riggers manufacturing specs, yeah? Your safe working load, yeah? So I'm going to show you just a table, and this is our safe working load, right? Because some slings can lift more than others, yeah? And I've got a violet one here, yeah? Purple violet one here, yeah? Can you see up there?
Yeah.
So what I'll just go for you. Here's violet. Here's our safe working load. 1 ton, and a straight lift, 1 ton on a choked. So when you choke it derates, yeah? When you choke it around a pipe or something, derates, yeah? So 800 kilos, so it goes down 20%. But if you double lift like a parallel, 2 ton, yeah?
Yeah.
And these are also your other working load limits, but if they're on an angle, yeah? So you run a square bloke, if you basket it, once you put angles in them, they start decreasing also. But like an angle there with the same sling is more than the violet one, yeah?
Yeah.
And also just a heads up, if you do use a sling around a square load, like a box or a cube, something square, you know, you've got a half the safe working load. All right? Half the safe working load. So if it's a 1 ton and you got a half it, how much do you reckon that would be if I put it around a square load? What's half of 1 ton?
0.5.
Yeah, that's right. Good job. Which is 0.5 ton. That's right. Yeah. Nice work. So that's same with. So if you had a 2 ton sling, put it around a square load. What's half of 2?
Half 2. Wouldn't it be like 1.5?
1 ton. That's right.
1 ton. Yeah.
1 ton. So we've got this. Yeah, these are our safe working loads. Very important, right? And in the middle of our safe working load, I mean, in our slings, we have also our load manufacturer specs, right? I've also got a yellow one here, right? We have a load manufacturer specs tag, and those are in our slings inside here. They have a sleeve and they have a load manufacturer specs tag, right? They have them in here anyway. They have a load manufacturer specs tag. These unfortunately don't have them because they're being condemned, right? They're being condemned. They're being tagged out. So that's where you can see. If you don't see a load manufacturer spec tag in your sleeve, every sling should have one. If you don't see a tag in here, which we don't see here, defect. Yeah, defect, right? Any cuts, abrasion, anything on the sling, defect. We tag it out, we get rid of it, we report to the supervisor, get rid of the sling, yeah?
Yeah.
So you're all pretty good with that?
Yeah.
Cool. So again, we're just going to focus just on these ones here. Most of your nylon slings. So this is our violet and this is our yellow, yeah? These are what they're good for, yeah? These are what they're good for. These are the workload limit, yeah? What they're good for.
So orange is like the best rated one.
Orange are best rated, that's right, thanks, good job. Orange best rated. Blue, 8 ton. Yeah, this is at a single lift like that. So you have that around a shackle and you're lifting up something of a bolt. Yeah, 8 ton for blue, 6 for brown. These are all in tons, yeah?
Yeah.
Violet, green, yellow, grey, red, brown, blue, right? So you sort of understand in there. So we've got the violet one, single lift, 1 ton, choked, 0.8, and parallel, 2 ton, yeah? Green, we've got a yellow one here, right? Yellow one. We've got a yellow sling, right? What's it good for? Can you see? If in a single lift like that.
Single is 3 ton.
Nice work. And then if we choke it,
2.4.
nice work. And then if we double it, parallel.
6 ton.
Yeah, so that right there, if you put that around a load, it's good for 6 ton.
So that's going to be like thicker material than the purple
That's
one.
right. You can have a touch of that too, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
You can feel these slings.
Oh, yeah, you can see the difference.
Big difference, eh? Yeah.
How much thicker and more heavier.
Thicker, more heavier.
Yeah.
More, so as the slings get bigger in the work and load limit, they get heavier, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you why slings are good and why they can be bad as well.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, you can hold that one if you want. Have a look at that, play around with that. Those are your slings. Have a feel of the material. Nylon slings. So here we go. What to do if we find faulty slings. All right. So we go to rig a load up, right? And we go to the rigging box and we go pick a sling out and we check it, right? We check the sling. As we do our pre-checks, very important. You have to do it every time you do a lift. Do our pre-check, make sure it's all good, and we find out there's some defects on the sling. All right, what to do? And what would you do? Oh, what would you do?
I would take it to the supervisor or like the boss.
Oh mate, I love that. That's number one. You've called your supervisor, notified the supervisor or the boss, and that's the number one. All right, and also tagging it out. Yeah. Also letting people, your crane operator, letting people know, hey, this sling's no good. Right? That is what you would do. I love that. You get a tag it out, or you get rid of it.
Yeah.
Don't want that sling being used by someone. Someone could be green like yourselves, grab that sling, doesn't check it, uses it on a lift, boom, catastrophic,
Like an
danger.
apprentice.
That's right, apprentice. Someone can grab the sling that's never done sling inspection, what we're going through now, uses it,
Yeah.
and doesn't know about anything about inspecting slings.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I want to get rid of it, you know. Want to let the supervisor know. You have the power to tag out slings, right?
Yeah.
Anything that comes with safety, you have the power. This is no good. Don't use it. Tell the supervisor. Anything that's unsafe, you must tell supervisor. You have the power. Anything unsafe from the work instruction to say no. No good. Not using it. Let the supervisor know. Tagging it out. Getting rid of it.
Yeah.
Right? Getting rid of the sling. Away from the box. Even putting it in rubbish even. A lot of we taking the rubbish bin even. And also, how do we store our slings properly so they don't get condemned, you know? How do we store our slings so they don't get condemned? So, and there we go. You said straight away, you tag out, report, supervise, ensure next person knows the faulty sling. How do we store a nylon sling properly? So yeah, we don't get it weathered and condemned and everything.
Wouldn't you put it up on a hook
Put
inside
up on a hook
or
up
something?
on away, that's right. So if the storage of proper nylon, polyester or dyneema spectra is critical to prevent environmental factors and damage from mechanical wear. So putting it away, and I'll show you in the photos where to put them. You store them in a dry area. Any more ideas you reckon?
No.
So storing them in a clean, dry and dark environment such as a rigging box, a gear locker, or by hanging them on racks to prevent tangling. And that's what you just said, up on a hook.
Yeah.
Really good. Rigging boxes, right? Rigging boxes, they're clear. There's nothing, no sun or no water can get in them. A lot of rigging boxes. In front of the franners and on the cranes, they have their own rigging boxes where your slings and all your rigging gear goes so it doesn't get damaged by the environment, you know.
So the sun can like fade.
Sun
them, make them
can
snap
water,
easier.
sun, like water in the sun all the whole time can damage these.
Yeah.
Right, so environmental factors. Well done, mate. Gear lockers and hanging them on racks to prevent tangling, like what you said. You can hang them up on racks, prevent tangling, but hanging up with racks in an area where people can't trip over them. Also, having a neat and tidy area is very important. But storing the slings is very, very, very important. All right? Get them out of the weather. Get them away. You're not going to store them in a paint shed or anything. No, you're going to store them in a correct area. Store them in an appropriate area. Clean. You're not going to store them in an area full of grease or oil, are you?
No, because it gets damaged.
That's right. Here's some pictures of where you could particularly see where the slings would be stored.
So, what are those chain buddies for?
These chain buddies, that's right, they're storing our chains, right? So keeping the chains off the ground, keeping them in correct lockers, correct locked boxes,
Yeah.
right? Each chain, and because they put the ring here, they're easy to access to get the ring off.
Yeah.
You could wheel this chain straight to where the crane is if they're heavy, you know what I mean? But here, see, we were talking about slings here, mate. We've got the slings that are hung up, just like you said. Well done, right? They're hung up, they're hanging out of the way. They're in a enclosed area. You can tell because it's in like a warehouse. Look nice and clean, and in order. Look at how nicely ordered they are. So you can go and grab them.
Color arranged.
Here's our tags. See these little blue tags here?
Yeah.
These are our tags that every sling, all these slings will have. If they don't have them tags,
So
condemned.
they're ready to go. They're ready
and
to
they
be
tell you
used.
the serial number, they tell you safe working load. They
Yeah.
tell you they need that tag. It tells you when it was manufactured, when the sling was manufactured, you know. So ideally, your sling, you want to be replacing these, ideally, every 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Every
so they
5
last
years.
a long
They last a
time.
long time, but it depends on how much wear you get. You know, you could hang
Yeah.
a sling up, but some slings, mate, they don't get used for a long time because they probably never get used to big lifts. Orange slings, you know, but a lot of your 2-ton, 1-tonners, they could be done within 6 months. Depends how many times you're using them. That's why it's always important to
So like
check
wear
them.
and tear.
That's why it's always important to check them, you know. But these will have expiries on that tag too. Wear and tear, that's right. That's why it's important to inspect them. But this is a rigging box, rigging cage. They've got chains, they've got
So
slings,
safety gear
in here, and it's locked, right?
Yeah.
It's away from weather. It's got a roof, protect. This is where you would store your slings, yeah?
Yeah.
This is where you would store your slings to keep them protected. And you got to know this stuff, otherwise you won't be able to get your tickets, you guys. Check in and store them properly, right? Also, I wanted to show you here. See, we've got slings here around square loads, right? This picture here is a good photo of our slings and how we protect them.
Yeah.
Right, and this is what I have here.
So that's what would stop it from getting cut.
That's right. This is a hard plastic. It's used a lot around square edges. So when you go to sling a load up, right? Say you have this is a square edge, and say it's, bear with me, mate. Say this is a square edge. That's very sharp. This would go on this side, one there, and one would go on this side.
And then you tie the sling around.
Have a go,
it.
yeah, come over here.
Stops it from getting damaged.
Stops it getting damaged. So you put your sling around it. So we had this on this side as well. We would put our sling here, choke it, right, and that protects that sling. And we have one of these on this side too. Some of you can chop these in half, put them over here. But see that there? So there's a square edge.
Yeah.
It's protected now. Away from the camera. That's protected now. Have a little go, right? Just so you choke it. So we have you found a load, right? And I want you, and it's got a very sharp edge, and you've got the slings, right? So you put that in here.
Put that in there, and then you
go underneath. Yep. Go over the top, choke it. Beautiful. Love your work. Now, let's just say which is better. You know, you've got two square edges. Say you've got one that's protected, one not protected. What do you think's going to get cut?
that side,
That's
because
right.
it's not got no guard
Not
on it.
protected. And this is what we have here, a lot of sling protection. Corners protectors, well done. Corner protectors, got this one here, big hard plastic, square. This one here would be big sleeves, protected here, yeah? That would be made of something that cannot be cut or abrased. Corner pads. These are the things that you need to do and think about when you're out on the job, right? When you're picking up loads and they've got square edges, very sharp square edges. This is how the slings get defected, because of square edges.
Yeah.
And you protect them. All right? And think about, oh, should I use a sling or should I use chains? You know? If you've got no chains, you've got to realize, all right, can I protect that square edge? Can I protect that square edge with the sling? And you've got to use your sling. Yeah?
Yeah.
Use your sling use your protector, on that sling. So you just seen, that was good. I showed you our protectors and why they're important. Very good. And then obviously, you've got all our sleeves, our corner protectors, got protection here, see how the sling? You can jam carpet, cardboard, something. You can get some plastic rubber, whatever you can jam in between. That's going to help, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So I just wanted to show you guys also chains, right? The difference between chains and slings. All right, so difference between soft chains and slings, yeah? We got chains, yeah? And slings, yeah? Got that? In rigging and dogging, you're going to have our chains and slings. You can see that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Again, look, there's our sling that we've got, 1 ton I know these are color coded, yeah?
Yeah, 2 times.
Worker load and your chains, which will go through in your course, what they're good for, and you've got to know what they're good for. But I want to show you a difference between the soft slings and chains, the pros and cons, right?
Yeah.
So here's the pros and cons for soft slings, right? Our pros is that when you're lifting load that's like paint, right? A sling, load protection, right? So when you have painted surfaces, it avoids scratching or denting when you're lifting it, right? So you use a sling, right? Yesterday, I had a job on where it was a brand new paint job. I used slings. I had chains, but I used the slings because if you put the slings on, it will scratch all the paint. You got to think about that. So some people would love slings that doesn't scratch paint. It's not abrasive, right? It avoids scratches and makes no dents, all right? So you got to think about that as well when you're choosing between slings and chains. But there's the pros as well. They're light. How heavy is that?
Yeah, it's like
How many
really
kilos,
light.
you reckon? Not even a
Probably,
kilo.
yeah, probably
Yeah.
1-2 kilos.
1-2 kilos. That's so light. Not even. That's about 200 grams. But that can lift 1 ton, right?
It's crazy.
Crazy that can lift 1 ton. You do that double. It just shows you. Very light and easy. Easier to move around store. I can hang that around there all day and walk around. You know, imagine me having some chains. Too heavy.
Yeah.
Too much. Easy reducing fatigue from the worker. You know, comfortability. Easily shapes around irregular, fragile loads. You know, which is right. It's easily going around all sorts of loads because it's very comfortably goes around. It's easy.
Yeah.
Easy oblong loads, it's really good, it's really easy, and it can be used on fragile loads, like a cardboard box. You can pick cardboard box up with that. Alright, we use chains, we'll just smash it, yeah?
Yeah.
It's non-conductive, it's safer for use around electric, yeah?
Yeah.
Electric environment, and it's very cost effective, very cheap for these, only a couple of dollars, yeah? This sling, probably $10.
What's
All
are
right,
they
but
expensive or?
here we go. There's some expensive. It depends on what brand you get, but you want to
Yeah.
stay with the Australian standards.
Yeah.
Some slings are $10, $20, but you try to buy a set of chains, you're looking at hundreds. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very easy to make, cost effective. But the cons, they're prone to damage and cuts and damages and sharp edges. Very easy unless you have our protection, what we have here, right?
Yeah.
Low heat, so yeah, in high temperature environments they can mount, yeah? They can mount, which we showed you before. Environmentally sensitive, can be damaged by the sun, also certain chemicals, so like acid and stuff. Any acid around this, could damage it, you know what I mean? Non-repairable usually must be discarded at first sign of significance, so you can't really repair this,
Yeah.
Whereas on a chain, if you have a faulty link, you can repair a link. You know what I mean? Cool. Any questions? Any
No.
feedback?
So it's obviously different to a chain. A chain would take a lot more, like, to break.
That's right. Because they're made of steel, yeah?
But like, the slings are like lighter and easier to like handle with.
That's right. Slings are lighter and easy. Look at this. I'm lifting a boat here, right? This boat is only fiberglass, right? If I put this chain sling around, right? And
Yeah.
try to lift this boat, because the sling's hard and made of steel,
It
and
would
I
rip
put
it.
a couple of ton on that, what do you think would happen?
It would scratch or slip.
Scratch, and it would slip, and it would also, because it would dent the boat
Yeah.
because of just how hard the steel and the links, and it would honestly put all holes through that boat. But with a sling, sweet as, just from the material it's made of, So that's why it's good to know when to use sling, when to use chains, yeah?
Yeah.
And here I've got some lifting chains, and here's the pros and cons of lifting chains. Just quickly, the chains, they're very high durability. They're strong, they're resistant, they can go on sharp edges. Around steel edges, they're fine because they're steel, They're heat resistant, high temperatures. Foundries, steel mills, a lot of steel mills use the chains, yeah? Steelworks. They have a very long lifespan. They can be inspected and repaired and recertified for long-term use. adjustability, often a feature like shorteners on chains. They have these shorteners where you can adjust them. Where these you can't really adjust them unless you do like a single wrap or double wrap, But on the chains they have these shorteners where you can adjust with the links. But they're very good. They last longer and they're very safe, But there are cons with it too, right? With the chains, they're very, very heavy, making them harder to handle and maneuver. So carrying chains very hard. They can damage surfaces like paint surfaces, and they can scratch delicate loads. So, expensive $1 million jobs, you're going to have to pick up these machinery and they don't scratch. So you've got to use our slings and protect them. They are higher cost compared to these. They're about 10 times more. But the initial investment compared to the synthetic sling, they are a higher cost. The pinch points there definitely pose a safety risk to hands and clothing. When you slinging loads up, you can get pinch points, which is, so you have a chain and you can, your hands and fingers can get caught, and they are hard, So you got to be very careful with that, especially rigging up with the chains, which we would go through this. But I just wanted to show you the pros and cons of chains compared to slings. Do you have any questions about that?
Have you ever seen someone get hurt like by the pinch point or get their clothes grabbed in?
Yeah. Well, myself will have gloves on, trying to do the chains, and then gloves have gotten caught. Yeah, between the chains and an edge or something. Yeah, but I didn't lift. They just get caught. But personally, I haven't seen anyone get real danger. But your clothing and your hands can get caught through from the chains. Yeah. But it's not very likely, but it can. It can, because the chains are heavy. They can weigh your clothes, Whereas you put a sling, it doesn't. So when you put your chain, that's a pinch point, right? If your chain and your clothes, there you go, right? And it gets caught, there's a bit of weight on it, right? So it's holding your clothes down on the weight. Whereas the sling will just come straight out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's lightweight.
It's lightweight, that's right. And this is me, I was slinging a load up here with chains.
Yeah.
Right, got sharp edges here. This was about 6 ton, and I had to rig it up, and I used the chains, 4 legs, and I did it this way due to, it's steel, a lot of sharp corners, chains are very high durability, short. They have adjusters here, so there. And I chose the chains over the slings for that fact of no pinch point for the sling to get caught on, get cut, and cause any danger.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that's about 6-7 ton, 4 legs, chains. Chains are good for, so that was 4 ton, chains are good for 6.9 ton. Yeah. They're plenty up my sleeve. But yeah, any questions?
No.
No. So there is a sling and difference between sling and thing. All right, before I do a feedback on Q&A, I wanted to give you, I've got 2 slings here, and I want you to identify some defects. If you can find on this sling, and let me know. So there's this sling, that's 1 ton.
Okay.
There's 3 defects on that I can identify, and I hope if you can pick up at least 2 of them.
It's got a cut here.
Very good. It's got a cut. There's 1. So even if you find 1 defect on it, it's condemned. All right. So that's probably, you found the cut, which is good. You're inspecting it, which is good.
It's been ripped here.
Yes. Lovely. I love how you are inspecting that too. So yeah, I will have to explain properly how you inspect the sling. Where you go. Nice work.
It doesn't have a tag on it either.
And it doesn't have a tag. You picked up all 3. My man. Well done. Love it. So yeah, when we are you picked up all 3. Now, when we are inspecting a sling, we've got to go over the whole sling, yeah. And I usually just start from that sleeve. First thing you do, I look for the sleeve, right? And then I from that sleeve, and then I'll come, when I know I'm finished, I come back to that sleeve. I'm looking over the whole sling, like this. I'm looking over the whole sling, looking over what can I find, you know. There's always going to be a bit of dark paint and colour. I'm looking for like holes, you know, there's a bit of grease in that. That's not too bad, but there could be like nicks in that, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm looking over the whole sling like that, right, and I'm picking up things, right. I'm waiting until I get back to that sleeve, and that would tell me that I've looked over the whole sling. So I'm doing front and back, yeah? Front and back, running my hand through it, front and back, running my hand through it. There's the sleeve, front and back, feeling it. All right? Your turn. See if we can pick up 3 defects on that one.
So it's obviously got no tag.
No tag. Beautiful. Nice work. Love it, nice work. Good job, mate, good job. That's it, run your hand on it, feeling for any more defects, you know. Keep running your hand. Run your hand over it.
It's got a cut here.
Wow, good job, there's number 2. Nice work, he's got a cut. Run your hand, good job. So you've got no tag on the cut.
Another cut there.
Yeah, there's a whole pinch point. So that could be a pinch point, right? You got one from a cut and one could be a pinch point. A bolt could have been holding that, and you could lift that. Someone's had a bolt end of that, and it could be lifting that.
Yeah.
And it would could have pinched it. You know what I mean? Anything sharp could have pinched that. So you got 3 there, 3 on there. Nice work. You're number 1 inspector of the slings. So yeah, that's very important there. Inspecting the slings, you've done really well. You showed me exactly how to inspect it. You've done really, really well there. And you've picked up all 3 of those condemnation, all 3 of those faults. And again, what would you do if you seen them out in sight?
You tag them out.
Take them out.
Or report it.
Or report it. That's right. You wouldn't want anyone using them, eh? So yeah, this just comes to the end of our work lesson. Do you have any questions or anything like that?
No, I found it easy to learn.
How was it? Easy to learn?
It was very, very taught, like,
Yeah.
because some people need to be shown
Yeah.
instead of, told.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
very practical.
I find it easier being shown. Like,
Yeah,
it
nice.
teaches me more.
Now you know how to inspect slings.
Yeah.
Love the feedback. I love that you know how to inspect them. You know where to store them. So we went through that. Know to spec, know to store. You know what to do when you come to the square edges with our protection also.
Yeah.
But I just loved how you went over that sling very, very thoroughly, and you picked up all 3 on those slings there. So there, that's a good pass for me, mate, and I'm happy for that. We can have a break now, and appreciate that. I'm happy to pass you on that.
Thank you.
On that skill there, and again, this is very, very important when we're doing our dogging. Very important, and then we'll have a little break, and we'll come back to the next two things. All right, next 2 skills that we'll be learning.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well done, class. Well done.